join us online. There they have now joined us. So I want to say to you, it's indeed an exciting day, a momentous occasion as we choose to celebrate alongside each and every one of you today. And it is your day and your time to shine in the Da Vinci galaxy. It is the day we've all been waiting for, that you've worked so very hard for. My name is Dr. Marla Coonan. I'm the Executive Dean, I keep forgetting that part, Executive Dean Strategy and Stakeholder Management here at the Da Vinci Institute. But more importantly, and my favorite job, and I say this because I mean it, I am your program director for your graduation today. And the reason that I say it's my favorite job is because this is the pinnacle. This is when you have climbed every mountain and stream and jumped over every hurdle and gotten where you deserve to be today. So before I formally welcome you, I do want to just point out a couple of things before the academic procession arrives. So there's on both sides, I always say it sounds like I'm on an airplane, on both sides, to your left, to your right, there are exit doors. Those do lead to bathrooms on both sides. The ceremony is about an hour, so you shouldn't really need to leave, but should you wish to, it's on both sides. And the other thing is that you'll see the photographers here. Everything is set up, so feel free to take photos and videos, etc. We stream live onto YouTube. We take it off just after your graduation, just to edit out like when people are walking and the time delays, and we put it back up exactly as your graduation proceeded. So you will always be able to watch it again, but feel free to video, take photos, etc. But please just don't use flash photography because it interrupts with the photographers. And then they do shout at me because what I choose to do is I feel your return on investment is your research or your project titles, and so I do actually read everyone's research, and then I choose to make a comment on each person's research as you come past. So the students that graduated from F&B earlier today, you would have, if you were watching any of your colleagues, you would know that I'd also done that. So the reason we have these small and intimate gatherings, besides that COVID pushed us in this direction, is more because we want you to not run across the stage and run off. We want you to take the moment. So stop, turn, smile for your photos, stand there. If your family are taking photos of you, smile for your photos, for your family. That's why Da Vinci does it differently to many places, so that you can really enjoy this moment of celebration. So don't feel like you need to rush. And if you do rush, I'm going to stop you from rushing, you'll see. All right. Can I please ask that you, and just one thing, phones on silent, please, because it does interrupt with the videography. If I could please ask you to rise as the academic procession comes in. So I just want to share with you a few of the people that are here, some of our honored guests, besides, of course, you're our shining star. They're just our guests who facilitated the journey. And so I say that at graduations, I always say good morning or good afternoon in various languages to show one of the Da Vinci things that we value, which is inclusivity. And then someone said to me at the May graduations, why do I only use some of the South African languages? So now I'm trying different languages. So please, I'm trying to look at where our alumni and our students and our stakeholders come from. If I do make errors, I apologize. You're welcome to correct me. But I'm saying today, welcome. Welcome to your graduation and welcome to the Home of Remarkability. So I say welcome, welkom, nda, wamukele, kile, amohela, Riale Amachela Benvenuti. So I'm trying different languages today, the ones that I'm comfortable with. I have long since practiced and know them very well. These ones not so much. But it really is just to represent the diversity of the Institute and the diversity of where each and every one of you came from. You've walked a path to get here. You have families, cultures, backgrounds, things that are important to you. And I'm just noting in these different addresses that I recognize and I see you, and I see your families, and I see where you come from, and I respect and honor your diversity to be here today. So I would also like to just welcome a few people. At the back, in the red coat at the back, is our keynote speaker, who after you graduate will be coming to greet you all, Dr. Kumela Malapa. He's a Da Vinci alumnus, but we put him at the back there because he's also completed quite a few comrades, so we worried he might take a run. Hi, Dr. Malapa, nice to see you again. He's here to address you. And then on my left-hand side, we've got the chairperson of the Senate, Dr. Franzel de Ploy-Cilliers. The Senate is our highest academic decision-making body at the Institute, and they make all academic decisions, and so she has to legally, or a representative of Senate has to legally be here to open this congregation. To her left is Dr. Ivor Blumenthal. Our Da Vinci Council, who he represents, is the sort of synergy between the strategy of the Institute combining with the educational aspects. So they are all business experts and leaders in their own rights. They are selected and nominated and voted onto council. They all have to come with a wealth of experience. So I think some of Ivor's grey hairs were given by Da Vinci. Ivor's a long-standing council member of the Da Vinci Institute, and they guide us from a strategic perspective and a business perspective so that we combine these two areas of academia and the importance of the business world for our students as well. So thank you, Dr. Blumenthal, for availing yourself to us today. And then to the left there is Ms. Louise Fuller. So she is everything legislative at the Institute, and if your certificate has a mistake on, you can find her, but she's pedantic about that. She is in charge of our registry department, and so she will be the one that's, what you've got in front of you is a hood. She will be capping you with your hood, and so when you go to her. When you stand, these dots in front of you are not social distancing marks. They are for the camera. So you are welcome to elbow pump, fist pump, do whatever you want to do within reason to Dr. de Ploy-Cilliers and Dr. Blumenthal as you come up. You then turn, face the cameras. They will smile with you in your cameras. We've also got one of your representatives from F&B here who I will introduce now, which is Mr. Stephen Barnard. And he will then stand next to you with Louise. So you will be welcomed there, and then Louise will cap you, and you will get your other photo standing over there. So I want to say to Stephen, who's here today joining us, I can see you at the back there. I saw before Dr. Malapa came in. Stephen Barnard has joined us from F&B, but what I truly want to say to you is I want to thank you for the contribution that you and your team make to education in South Africa. It is not only these students who've reached this pinnacle, but all the students that you support. I think it is remarkable the impact that you make on education and the investment that you make in your employees. Talent management is something that I think is critical in our country, so we do not have the brain drain. And I appreciate all that you and your team do. Solofelo I did greet this morning, but she was online, so I'm glad to see someone in person and be able to discuss that with F&B Home Loans, so thank you very much for that, and if you'd pass that on to the rest of your team. Right, so now we begin with some of the formalities, and so what will happen now is I will call on Dr. de Ploy-Cilliers to formally open this congregation, and then I will give you a welcome, and then I will request your permission to confer you. Dr. de Ploy-Cilliers.
By the power vested in me as the chairperson of the Senate of the Da Vinci Institute for Technology Management, I hereby declare this congregation a lawful gathering for the Da Vinci Institute of Technology Management. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. de Ploy-Cilliers. So before we start calling you all up and we start the proceedings, I want to say a few things to you. And I always try to look for quotes that are different because I don't think that a cookie cutter model works for things. So that's why my graduation ceremonies are always spontaneous. But I always try to find a quote of meaning that I want to hold on to for each different group of graduates. And this one you got is one of my favorites, and it's one that I've always had up in my office. And in fact, when we still had face-to-face last workshops with our students, and we would serve the grape juice or the champagne, I would actually put that on it. And it's by Audrey Hepburn, and it says, "Nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I am possible." And I want to say today that you have lived up to that. I know there were times on this journey that you must have felt it was not possible. There is no question in anyone's mind that being an adult learner with commitments to family, to children, to earning a salary, to all the realities that do not face us at a younger age are really critical when you are studying as an adult learner. So I commend you for making something that seemed impossible possible. You somehow made 24 hours in a day work for you, and that is really not an easy challenge. I have no doubt there were many times of darkness, many times you did not want to walk or crawl or fly or do whatever you needed to do to get there. So I'll say to you, with all your shoes on today that you put on, I know that in each of your cupboards is a pair of running tackies that has absolutely got no more sole left, and it's probably got no more shoelaces left, because you listened to the words of Martin Luther King Jr., who says, and I quote, "If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward." So I want to say to each and every one of you today, although I don't have his voice, which I loved, was that you have done that. Those tackies can be thrown away, and you can get new ones for your next journey, where we hope you'll be meeting us for your postgraduate diplomas. But the thing about this is, and I know you're saying, "Are you kidding me? It's only 1 year, guys, come on." So what I'm saying about this is that the journey that each of you took was unique to you as an individual. We all like journeying in different ways. Some of us do it along a stream. Some of us do it up a mountain. Some of us do it in a racing car. Some of us do it in a cable car. It doesn't matter how you reach this destination. Every single one of you took a remarkable journey to get here today. And I commend you for standing up and being counted, letting your voice be heard. So today is about self-love, self-celebration, celebration with those you love. But I urge you to never forget the lessons that you've learned as you've come on this journey, because they are there to equip you to face what lies ahead for us. And the things we value at Da Vinci are things that you've been equipped with, and I know that each of you will take out into the world with you. And the first one is about curiosity. Now, you may know that recently at the PhD graduation, we gave the Laureate Award to two very diverse people. One was the 9-year-old Professor Saborno Isaac Bari. If you have a look, he's a 9-year-old professor. He's been invited to be a professor, and he's a 9-year-old child prodigy. He came to South Africa to receive his award, and he really is an amazing little boy to be able to do the things he does at his age. On the other end of the spectrum, we had the Honourable Dr. John Carney accept his Laureate Award. And he told me I can say this, that he was born in 1943, because he's proud of it. And the reality is that we have this spectrum between old and young, but the reality of what they're both trying to show is something quite important. And they both said to harness your creativity, I'm obviously not using their exact words, but my own, to harness creativity and to allow ourselves to always remember our inner child is something really important, whether you're in the maths and sciences, which Prof. Bari is, and he says he sees maths and science as an art. When he sees equations, he sees it as like a beautiful painting. Or you are Dr. Carney, who's presented plays on all the world's stages. Each and every one of those people have embraced some kind of creativity within themselves because they've been curious to probe problems. So I hope you never forget that lesson, no matter where your life takes you. The other is about transdisciplinarity. Every single one of you came here with expertise, with your own set of understanding of backgrounds, your own qualifications you may have done previously, because this was something that your organization encouraged you to do. And so the reality of this is that even in your own studies, when you look at different disciplines and you bring it together, you are thinking in a transdisciplinary way. And I'm sure Dr. Deploy Saliers will give a much better definition of it, but what I want to hold on to today is the fact that traversing disciplines and remaining experts in multiple fields as you grow and progress and trying to mesh them together and bring them together, it's a very important part of being a systemic thinker. And then we have inclusivity. This is not a tick box exercise. This is about actually recognizing that the most important principle is actually love, and that seeing people as individuals, as people who have been raised, brought up, and experienced life in a different way to the lens that you have is an important part of true inclusivity. It is not an us and them debate. It is about the fact that if you have self-love and you are able to feel confidence in yourself and you are able to really show others love, you will be someone that can exude leadership because you will not be threatened by anybody, no matter what their station in life. You will encourage cooperative engagements with people by accepting people for their diversity and embracing inclusivity rather than making it something that you supposedly have to do. So this is about authenticity. And then the last one, as you know, at Da Vinci, is all about co-creation. And that is that we are together in something because we co-create. And I always use the Ubuntu principle of I am because we are. And I say that Da Vinci exists because you are here today. We would be nothing without you. But I'm also challenging you to know that everybody you co-create with in your life and make part of your reality is part of your Ubuntu because you are, because they are. So I want to say to you on a continual basis, please stay in touch, stay connected with us. We want to know about what's happening in your life and the purpose of why you studied, etc. We want to profile you. We want you to join our alumni events. We send them out monthly, our newsletters. I often hear people saying, but I feel vain if I say I want to be profiled. No. You are remarkable, and we want to profile your life and who you are. So we often contact people, and they're busy at that moment in time. So when you've got a gap, let us know. We put it in the bottom of the newsletter every month. I've got a gap in the next week. I'd like to be profiled now. And then we can utilize that, and we can showcase and share your remarkability with the rest of the community of Da Vinci. So now it is the exciting time in which I get to confer each of you. And I always say it's tough being the first one because everyone washes you and then checks it out. But it is also an honor that you get the first degree that is going to be conferred. But before I'm allowed to do that, I can't do it without permission of my chairperson that sits beside me. And so I would like to ask Mr. Stephen Barnard from F&B Home Loans to please join us up in the front. Louise, I'm going to ask, because Iva's going to stand here and Shvanzel there, so I'm just going to ask Stephen to stand with you for that photo. So Stephen, if you could come forward and then stand next to, between our registrar and our council representative. Thanks, yes, on that side. And then as you see fit, you are welcome to, elbow, do whatever you wish to do or not touch. The students, you may take your masks off for the photos because those on stage will not take their masks off. So you will also have your back to them. So you don't need to worry about that. You can take it off unless you want to remember COVID. You are welcome to do so. So I would like to say, Chairperson, I honorably request you to confer the qualification Bachelor of Commerce in Business Management on the candidates that I'm going to present to you today. Thank you for the permission that's been granted. I'm now at liberty to call on our very first graduate, and that is Emerentia Dorothy Wilhelmine Breert. Don't worry, I didn't get your name wrong, Natasha. Is Natasha standing there panicking? Okay, I promise you, Natasha, I know you're not Emerentia. Emerentia has joined us online, and in honor of all students, we do still recognize every student, whether they are in absentia or they are physically here. So Emerentia Dorothy Wilhelmina Breert's project title is Managing the Misalignment Between Staff Performance Measurements and Customer-Centric Organizational Strategy in a Digital Transformation Banking Sector. Emerentia, I can see you have joined us. I'm not sure if you can hear, or you want to unmute your mic, but what I want to say about your project that was very interesting for me is that you looked at something very complex, because we've spoken a lot today about performance indicators and how people often don't see the value. But what I do want to say to you is that you looked at something quite fascinating by looking at misalignment between the performance measurements and a customer-centric approach. By saying this, you almost show that there is some kind of misalignment between the customer centricity. And I saw in your study that that is what you did. And I want to say to you, and also to you, Stephen, that the fact that F&B let students look into this type of thing, because it's not easy to do research when you're managing upwards, is really amazing. So you will know that when somebody does a topic like this, I call them a warrior man or a warrior woman. So Emma Renshaw, as you join us online, I say to you, congratulations on being a warrior woman and taking on a topic that is quite complex in nature and that you've done with aplomb. So congratulations. I see you clapping there, Marentia. We are sad you can't join us, but your colleagues alongside me and the rest of the members say congratulations to you. So Natasha, you can breathe a sigh of relief now that I didn't get your name wrong. And I would now like to welcome our next candidate who is physically here with us today, Natasha Tarsha January. Natasha's project title is The Impact of Ineffective Application Capturing on the First National Bank Home Loans Process. So again, Natasha, I want to say to you today, before you move on and get capped, oh, Natasha forgot her mask, no problem, we'll take another one. I will wait. I want to say to you that when you look at the people in the organization and what they do, which is what you've done, because you're speaking about ineffective capturing, and I assume before I read it that was aligned to staff, which I see was, you're looking at an important element because you're looking at the management of people. But you're also trying to improve processes in your institution. And too many people think that innovation is about creating a physical object. But ideation is also about new processes and things that you put in place, which is something that you were suggesting in your study. So I congratulate you on looking at the management of people, the management of innovation, and trying to come up with some systemic solutions. Congratulations. So, Natasha, you are allowed to say to your colleagues, yes, please be in the photos. There we go. So we'll take one there, and then so what I'd like to just ask is for you to stay in one and then step out one, just to step out. Cool. So that's how we usually do it. Thanks, Stephen. Okay, great. Then you can take one of Natasha alone. Thank you very much. So I want to say congratulations to the January family as you celebrate with Natasha today. Congratulations. Molachari, you see, I don't know who's your program convener hiding you there. So I want to say to Molachari Matlale Kasaho, congratulations. Molachari's project title is The Impact of the Building Loan Stringent Requirements Policy and Process on First National Bank Stakeholders. I think for me, I think it was wonderful how you looked at this, because one of the things that I think is important is around generation for people to actually be able to move forward with businesses and those type of aspects. And when I read your study, I really thought this was something you were taking into consideration when you were doing it, because of the fact that you were looking at some of the policies connected to this and possibly impacting people in this way. So people often say policies and procedures are very administrative, and I say they make organizations tick, because in our organization, for example, nothing can be done out of policy because it's part of how we ensure governance. So for tackling an area such as governance, which is a critical part of any sector, but in particular banking, congratulations. And I see here we have a very proud Kasaho family member in the front, but also online. So I say to the whole Kasaho family, congratulations. Be proud today, Molachari. What a wonderful achievement. Leah, I'm trying to do your surname correctly. If I don't, you need to tell me. But I now introduce to you Leah Magdalena Kreutzfeldt. Did I get it right? Okay, thank you. As Leah steps forward, I want to give her project title, which is The Impact of Emotional Intelligence on Performance of PMO and IT Departments. If you know my own interests, Leah, you will know that I'll let you take your photo first so that they don't shout at me. In the fifth industrial revolution, one of the critical areas is going to be about the understanding between the human and technology and the dance between the two. And by taking something like EQ into account when you're looking at a field like IT, I think is a critical aspect of being a forward thinker, and it means that you've already moved out of the fourth industrial revolution and sort of catapulted into the fifth. And at Da Vinci, we believe that we should already be in the fifth industrial revolution because that is where there's a synergy between humanity and technology. So for being someone who's a fifth industrialist, I want to say congratulations to you for tackling this topic. Well done. And as Leah takes her photo, I want to say to the Kreetzveld family, congratulations, and may you celebrate with Leah today as she stands and gets her qualification. Thanks, Leah. Right. Melanie, you standing there. I introduce to you Melanie LaRue. Melanie's project title is quite a mouthful. It is Exploring the Effectiveness of the Outcomes-Based Remuneration Leave Payment Process in First National Bank Sales Administration Department. I have no doubt your current employees that work alongside you love you for a topic like this. But I want to say to you that part of looking at what is important to the people within your organization means that you may be able to retain the talent and retain staff. So I think topics like this are really critical when we look at areas like efficacy connected to people, but at the same time acknowledging people. So for your contribution to the management of people and being a queen of our hearts, I congratulate you today. Well done. As you receive your award, I congratulate the LaRue family on this remarkable achievement as Melanie receives her award. Congratulations. Teddy, you're going to wait a moment because Jason is joining us online. Jason, I'm not sure if you are unmuted or muted. I don't mind if people choose to stay off camera. It is their choice. So I want to say that we're going to be awarding the qualification to Jason Jeff Michaels, and I would like you to give Jason an additional round of applause because he's received his qualification cum laude. Jason, if you can put your camera on, it would be great. I can see that a hand has gone up there and some clapping online. Project title. Hi, Jason.
Hi.
Jason,
Hello,
I like to speak.
Wow.
I like to speak to face, so you've got to wait 2 minutes till I do your project title, then I'll give you a moment. So Jason's project title was the requirements needed to update the current inefficient process regarding finance-linked subsidy program applications. I want to once again say to you at F&B Home Loans that I am impressed with how you allow your students to look into things. I know they're employees as well, but they're picking up inefficiencies. And I truly believe that in looking at this, there was a warrior woman earlier, and you are a brave man, because looking at inefficiencies in a system is about managing upwards, and it is about taking a new strategic direction for the organization. So I commend you on this. But in your particular study, I think that it was very important because it's finance-linked subsidy programs, and with subsidies, there's always some complexity around ethics. And so I think you've tackled two very important socioeconomic principles here, and I want to commend you for that and your cum laude. Congratulations to the whole Michaels family today.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I think you're frozen, but we heard you saying thank you, so thank you for joining us, Jason. I would now like to introduce to you our next candidate graduating, Teddy Monde Mota. Teddy's project title is Exploring Sales Growth Through Internal Banking Channels. I'll let Teddy smile first before I say to him that I think in tough socioeconomic times that we've had, I think looking at sales growth is critical. All sectors have been hit. And the fact that you are actually contributing to this, I think few people understand that you're actually contributing to people's livelihoods by doing this. You are contributing to multiple aspects by looking at it very systemically. So when we speak about ecosystemic thinking, we say that the sum of the parts makes up the whole and various things interchange with each other. I was very impressed with how you were able to look at this in trying to figure out how to better the sales within this division. So congratulations. To the Mortar family, I hope you will celebrate with pride as Teddy graduates today. Okay, so guys, what we're doing is we're taking one photograph with your representative from your company and a single one for yourselves, so that when you do your photos and you want them up on the wall, you've got one with our Senate and Council, one with your representative, and one getting your cap by our registrar. Okay. So the next person graduating today is Christian Frederik Niemand. Congratulations. I think people that look at remuneration seem to have very complex titles, because Christian's project was investigating the viability of the outcome-based remuneration scheme change in the external sales channel within First National Bank home loans. I want to say to you that when I first saw the title, I was confused at first to think, how am I going to understand this? But you were able to extrapolate your information really well in that. And I think you were extremely effective. And I think what few people understand is that trying to connect something that is an outcomes-based system to people is something that requires you to have both heart and soul. Because it's not just about words on paper, but it is rather about making that connection to the people that are going to be impacted by this. And I felt that through the pages, and I think that that was something that I hope is important to you, because it's something that I picked up. So the management of people, but there was something else. You have a very deep systemic understanding of how different things impact other things. And I think that that is something that I want to comment about in your research and say well done to you. Congratulations. And I hope it is viable, by the way. Okay, so as the Niemand family celebrates today with Christian, we say congratulations, you have held your family name up high, and Louise is waiting to cap you. Okay, so congratulations to Christian Frederik Niemand. The next student who will be graduating is Stephen Olsen. Congratulations. Stephen's title is The Impact of the Reliance on Indirect Channels on the First National Bank Home Loans Processes. So, Franzel, Dr. Deploy-Celia has commented someone's taller than her. She's usually the tallest one in the photos. I think this was quite interesting for me, Stephen, and whilst you get your cap, because what I do want to say to you is that we don't often look at indirect channels. People are very focused on formal channels and on channels that are much more direct. And so I found it very fascinating that you took such a different perspective. And at Da Vinci, you know how we feel that you should see beyond the 9 dots. When you come to Da Vinci and you get the 9 dots, you all remember getting Prof. Anderson's speech. And then he said, and now stretch your mind beyond. For me, the fact that you looked at indirect channels was really someone who took their mind and pushed it beyond the boundaries. So I hope you know that you're a boundaryless person, and there are infinite possibilities, so well done to you. Congratulations. I hope the Olsen family stands with pride. I always say nice and tall. You are closer to the sky, so you are a much closer star than the rest of us. I wish you and your family well in your celebrations as you celebrate today. Louise is taking her photo now. The next individual graduating today is Heidi Slubbert. I want you to give Heidi an extra round of applause as she's receiving her qualification cum laude. Heidi's project title is Exploring Inadequate Storeroom Management at the First National Bank Home Loans Division. I always say to people that exploring internal issues in an organization is often more difficult than external. People don't mind saying, oh, we've got a problem outside. Quite complex to say we've got a problem inside. And people think it's simplistic, but as these things happen, things get lost and it starts to be an ineffective process. So I think that you've looked at a topic that many people wouldn't have tackled because they would have just said, oh, what's the impact? But everything has a knock-on effect. And I'm sure that this was quite tough to do in an environment alongside colleagues who you could potentially put in a difficult space. And that's why I say that looking at these type of research that has any risk culture is always for the brave of heart. But what I do want to say to you is very few people understand what it takes to get a qualification cum laude. So I not only commend you for your research and being a brave heart, but for getting your qualification cum laude. Well done. To the Slubbert family, may you be very proud of Heidi's achievement. It is a triple whammy. She not only got a qualification, a good research topic, but she got it cum laude. Our next student receiving her qualification is Anthea Bonita Sparks. Congratulations. I know, didn't you feel like you were getting an Oscar? You're welcome to dance. I've heard no ululating today. I don't know what's going on. It's very quiet. You can dance, spin, you know. Anthea Bonita Sparks' project title is The Impact of Incentives on Home Loan Collections. I do think that incentives in an environment that we're in become critical because they actually motivate people. But badly structured incentive packages are really not good from a strategic perspective because they often don't drive performance, but they actually negate performance because people almost aren't willing to do anything that they're not prepared to get incentives for. So when I read yours, I really was quite interested that instead of looking at what most people look at, which is how can I get incentives, you actually looked at the impact of incentives on the collections. And I thought that that was very interesting because it doesn't matter what you find, whether it's to be positive or negative, it's about impact. And so I commend you on looking at that because when it comes to incentives, people often only want to look at what they can get. And so you are not only getting, but you are becoming. We heard about that this morning. And one of the things I want to say is that when you're becoming, you will always get in life. So congratulations and well done. As Anthea gets her qualification, I would like to say to the entire Sparks family, be proud and congratulations on this achievement. You've got the right shoes to do a bit of a jam, you know. Her twinkle toes shoes, that's why your surname suits them. Sparks, excellent. Congratulations. Our next student receiving her qualification is Danica Favor. Danica's project title is Investigating the Decline of Sales of the Single Facility Product at First National Bank Private Wealth. I think sometimes people struggle, and I said this morning when I looked at some of the banking sectors, is when something's to do with private banking or the higher echelons, because people often say it's looking at a higher LSM. And I always say to people, it still has got social impact. Because if those are the people that are employing other people, those are the people driving other people, and if we're losing sales in that space, maybe we're losing people that are business owners, and that's why they are leaving us. And what can we do to immerse ourselves in that? So when I saw your topic, that was the first thing that came to mind. And the second thing was to say that in order for others to maintain their jobs and for people not to be retrenched, the sales aspect and having a decline in sales is really important to find the root cause and the root issue so that you can turn it around before retrenchments have to take place. So I commend you on looking at two different social aspects and say well done to you. And as Danica gets her qualification, I want to say to you, Danica, congratulations. Look at the cameras, not me. I will look forward. And say to the Favor family at the back there, congratulations. And to those joining us online, you have done yourself and your family proud. I'm looking at them. So I've had two great things happen, and that is, I don't know why, but this round of graduation, all the people that have been the last have always been gentlemen, and this morning I had the first woman, and now I can say it again, that you certainly, I have saved the prettiest for last. And so what I'm saying is this is our last student graduating this afternoon with the qualification, and that is Matlodi Chabalala. Congratulations. Matlodi's project title is Inefficient Succession Planning Processes at First National Bank Home Loans. Now, I'm so glad finally my favorite topic came up, which is talent management. I think succession planning plays a critical role. We do not want to put people in positions where they are just put in a position and they are not there to actually succeed. I say to you, when we speak about inclusivity, it cannot just be a tick box exercise. So when I look at the social return on investment of your particular study, I think it's the fact that you really want to try find a way to actually grow succession planning, which means people are prepared for their promotion and are not just promoted to tick a box. And I think that this, for me, is a beautiful social return on investment if we can get upward flow of management who are actually able to take on the job and fly their flag high. So I congratulate you, and I hope your company does a lot of succession planning and we see you moving up the corporate ladder. Congratulations. To the Chabalala family, may you shine with pride today. As Matlodi is getting her qualification, it is indeed a remarkable achievement. So I'm going to ask, just before we get our guest speaker up, and while Matlodi is finishing, I want to once again mention to Mr. Stephen Barnard, but ask him to stay standing, and all of you to stay standing, and I will tell you why now, that I want to say to Stephen Barnard, to F&B Home Loans, thank you. Thank you for what you do for our country, because I want to say that while I'm speaking about the social return on investment of everyone's research, and now you know what I do at bedtime, and it is the fact that you are actually willing to, number one, allow research of this nature, that you're allowing people to explore in your organization, and that you're investing financially in this is truly remarkable, and I thank you for that. So I told you that you were all part of the Da Vinci Galaxy, and now all of us in our coats are going to give you a standing ovation as I welcome into our Da Vinci Galaxy the following new shining stars to take their place in our galaxy. Emerentia, Natasha, Molochadi, Leah, Melanie, Jason, Teddy, Christian, Stephen, Heidi, Anthea, Danica, and Matlodi. Congratulations. Woo! Thank you very much, Stephen, and the procession may be seated. So I'm introducing to you a guest speaker who, now that you are no longer students, you are now alumnus of the Da Vinci Institute. And Dr. Blumenthal, I called you professor because of your mind. Dr. Blumenthal feels very passionate about this. So I'm again reiterating that you are part of us now as an alumnus. And we want to connect with you, not only on a personal level, on a business level, on a social level, whether you're doing community engagements in your community, in your churches, in your communities. We don't only want to know about work. We don't only want to know that you want to study further. We want to know about you. We care about you. Our convocation says, I am Da Vinci, and that is what we want to say. You are Da Vinci. You make us who we are. So, Dr. Malapa is one of our Da Vinci stars, and he has his very own constellation in the Da Vinci Galaxy, and that is that he's one of our graduates in our doctoral program, and hence he dons a title and a red coat. And as a young man, Dr. Malapa grew up in the rural areas in Venda, in the Limpopo province. He actually matriculated from that region, and I say this not because I want to give you his background, but to show you how he brought himself and his voice into the reality that he has found himself. He did not grow up in an environment where he could just get whatever he wanted. He worked hard for what he got, and he persevered through it all. And that's why he's one of our shining stars, because he shows the depth of perception that he gets from what he has experienced. He shows perception when he speaks because he brings in all those collective experiences that he had, whilst growing up on those streets to getting to where he's gotten today. And he certainly has gotten to amazing places. He left his home province of Limpopo, and he graced us with his presence in 1996 in Gauteng, and he's actually studied electrical engineering. He went further and completed advanced project management, and having that management of technology alongside his project management was really quite remarkable. And he's very focused in operations management, and he's also got an MBA. But the thing I'll say about him is that his passion and love lies in education, and it's things about educating people about customer service. So many of you looked at the customer, and he's got a lot of experience with that. And the thing about him is that he has a lot of experience in telecommunications, and that's where the majority of his experience lies. And he has multiple managerial positions. So he's someone that actually looks towards the management of people, but from a technological perspective. He marries the management of technology and people. And that's why I often say that he's able to be an innovator and an ideation manager, because he's able to marry all three of them in a very systemic way. I also told you earlier that he might bolt out the door, and that's because he's actually completed numerous Comrades marathons. So his tackies are definitely worn out, not only from his doctoral journey, but also from his running capabilities. But it shows yet again his motivation, his determination, and his perseverance. And that's my message to you today, that Dr. Malapa is a sterling example of motivation, dedication, perseverance, and someone who was able to let his voice step out when he shifted his own reality from where he came to where he is today, and he holds where he came from with pride. I introduce to you Dr. Kumela Malapa.
Thank you. Program Director, allow me to greet our honorable members, Senate, distinguished guests, family, friends, and of course, our VIPs, our most beautiful graduates. It gives me a great pleasure to stand before you today. I am honored to be your mirror of hope. When looking around you, I don't see any angry face, but beautiful smiles. Yes, today is your day. Indeed, you must be proud of yourself. You must be proud of your achievements. And yes, you should be proud of your accomplishment. William H. McGraven once said, if you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. By the end of the day, the one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that little things does matter. If you can't do little things right, you will never do big things right. With that in mind, allow me to share my journey with you. Graduates, seeing me wearing a red gown today, being in front of you, being your motivational speaker, I was never an A student at school, but I had the desire to achieve the highest qualification. It was previously rated as NQF level 9, and currently it is NQF level 10 in South Africa. I knew that I should work very hard to accomplish my target. In doing so, I fell along the way. I woke up and decided to soldier on, to persevere, as he has already indicated, until I reach my destination. Just like the Comrades Marathon runner, as she has said, Not everyone ran to be number one. Not everyone ran to win. But satisfaction. They continue to run under difficult conditions, but they keep on moving forward and forward until they reach their destination. And once that is done, once that is achieved, it becomes a satisfaction. They become satisfied. Actually, they become very satisfied. This is the journey that I've traveled. And of course, it was not an easy one. But I soldiered on and on until the day I received a note, which became my satisfaction. I am proud to be a Da Vincian. It is for the same reason I would like to challenge you not to stop here. Continue to study while you still have time. Continue to improve your level. And of course, you should be able to give back to the community. You should be able to improve your community's life. Graduates, the day you took a first step to register for your qualifications, I'm sure you were looking forward to this day, wearing those beautiful gowns. Wow, you are beautiful. You look forward to achieve what you had started. And indeed, we witness the success of your will today. This is it. You have achieved your goal. Your determination, your perseverance pays off today. And yes, no one deserves it better than yourself. However, the key question now is, what does your qualification mean? A good professor once said, there is difference between being certificated and educated. He went further to explain that certificated are those, after obtaining their academic qualifications, they fail to put in practice what they have learned. And of course, status quo remain. And such is regarded as waste. In the same breath, educated are regarded as those who put in practice what they have gained. They challenge status quo. They improve performance in their businesses. They assist their companies to gain competitive advantage. They improve people's lives. They encourage unity and working together in our society. They root out corruption. They hate crime. And of course, they believe in making the world a better place to live in. Graduates, I challenge you to follow the educated route, not the certificated route. Change the status quo. Improve your company's bottom line. Be the change agent. Anyway, if you never thought of that before, your choice is limited. Why so? Because by accepting to become the Da Vinci alumni, you accept the responsibility of becoming change agents. You accept the responsibility of protecting our women and children. You accept the responsibility to report crime. You accept the responsibility of encouraging good health. And of course, you, the Da Vincian, accept the responsibility to better our beautiful continent, Africa. You accept the responsibility to better our beautiful country, South Africa. While addressing Wellesley College students in 2015, Chimanada Ngozi Adichie requested the graduates to try and create the world that they like to live in. It is for the same reason that I invite you to utilize the newly acquired knowledge to build the better world. Our beautiful continent, Africa, needs you. Our country, South Africa, needs your newly attained skill to improve its economy, to improve its health systems, to improve its local government, to improve its public relations, and of course, to improve its society. The Da Vinci Institute has equipped you with knowledge, with new skills, and surely they trust you, the Da Vincian, to be their best representative in fight to better the world, in fight to improve Africa, and in fight to improve South Africa and its people post-COVID. In conclusion, let me leave you with a quote from George Sanders, who once said, "Do all other things, ambitious things, travel, get rich, get famous, innovate, lead, fall in love." I'm sure you have already fallen in love. "Make and lose fortune, swim naked in wild jungle river. But as you do, to the extent that you can, stumble in the direction of kindness." To the class of 2021, congratulations are in order. I leave the frugality of the world in your hands, and I am confident, comfortable to say, that it will be better because of you. Go all out and do wonderful things. I thank you.
I'm sure you will agree with me what a humble and wonderfully inspiring man, and his kindness resonates in everything he does, and so I think that message is very important. But I've been waiting the whole graduation season to be able to use my favorite quote, and now you've allowed me to, and that is that I saw your message, Dr. Malapa, as saying, with great power comes great responsibility. And the reason that I love that quote so much is because many people say to me that obviously I love the Spider-Man franchise. And I say that there's a number of reasons that I love that quote. And the one is, yes, the Spider-Man franchise that it's taken from is really important for a simple fact that it is multi-generational. It doesn't matter if you speak to kids from 20 years ago, kids of today, kids of 40 years ago, Spider-Man is always topical. And I think my message in that is to always harness your inner child, to always be able to recognize that curiosity and who you are, and to never forget that aspect of yourself. But on the other hand, it's actually originally stated by Voltaire, and so quite heavy kind of French revolutionary philosophy. And I say that is because even if you keep your childlike exuberance, and even if you keep that curiosity about yourself, it does not mean that you will never be a deep and meaningful thinker. It is about the duality between the two that is so important. So today, as you receive your qualification, Dr. Malapa's message, and I did not know what it was before, so I used the tacky thing without knowing you were going to speak to the journey, but it is really something for me that's important. The piece of paper is only a piece of paper unless you do something with it. And that was your strength of your message today, that we have a social responsibility to utilize the education that we've been given and privileged to have. So thank you, Dr. Malapa. I now want to say that we usually serenade people with opera singing. I'm a terrible singer. I'm not even allowed to sing in the shower. So I will say to you that we will get our beautiful opera singers to sing to you online. We've had to pre-record it and let them sing God Bless Africa as a dedication to each of you today.
Breathe a prayer for Africa.
beautiful, I'm sure you will agree. I now call on Dr. Deploy Cilliers, before I give my closing, to formally dissolve this congregation as a legal gathering.
As the chairperson of Senate, I hereby dissolve this congregation of the Da Vinci Institute for Technology Management. Thank you.
So I thought my voice would be hoarse by now so I could really get this right, but unfortunately it isn't yet. I seem to have staying power. So I will try to drop it as low as possible, otherwise I'll get Dr. Malapa to help me and say, in a galaxy far, far away, amongst the dust of the people, gravity's pull and gases, sits a magnificent galaxy that's just appeared on your screen, and that is the Da Vinci galaxy. So I want to introduce you to our galaxy today. You'll see the cow of remarkability that you all know so well, our lion cow drawing, that is outlined as a constellation. If you look in your programs and you look in much of our material that you'll see out there in the public domain, you will see other symbols, like the 9 dots that form a kite that is critical to Da Vinci's teaching. So we haven't taken the 9 dots because that's not ours, but the shape formation of the kite, and we've put that into our galaxy. We've taken the outline of the TIPS framework and we've put that into our galaxy. And as we go along, we want to also grow our alumni into their own constellations and map our galaxy with that. It is filled with constellations, but the bright and most beautiful and most magical stars are each and every single one of you. And that is why you were told today that you've joined the Da Vinci galaxy. To be a star, you must shine your own light, follow your own path, and don't worry about the darkness, for that is when the stars shine their brightest. It is an unknown author who said that, but what I want to say to you is that that's what we are fostering here. We want you to know that this is your academic home of belonging. It is the place that the doors will always be open. We have 7 days a week, there is someone here. We have free Wi-Fi, I tell people. So we have good coffee. You are welcome to physically come here, but I'm speaking about this at a metaphysical level, and I'm saying to you that every single one of you has now got a star in that galaxy. Your constellation, as you grow and change and build, is going to be its own shape. Mine may look very different to yours, and Dr. Deploy Cilliers, Dr. Blumenthal's, etc., and that is what we want. We want your constellation because it is all your connection and collection of dots that make up your constellation, that make our night sky shine. And so today, as we place your star in the Da Vinci galaxy, we ask each one of you to share your constellation with us as you build and grow and connect it. And we say to you, Emerentia, to Natasha, to Molochadi, to Leah, to Melanie, to Jason, to Teddy, to Christian, to Stephen, to Heidi, to Anthea, to Danica, and to Maclaudy. Welcome to the Da Vinci galaxy. You are our newest, most bright, beautiful, and remarkable stars. And we want to say to you that you have stood the test of time, and that is why you're a star. And your star will never fall. It will always be up in our galaxy. So it does not matter where your feet find you. You can go and run the Comrades Marathon. You gave me a new example because everyone just wants to be in the beach. So in Mode 2 style, I'll say, where do you want your feet to be right now? Mine, I'd like to be up on a chair. Anyone else's? Yes, say it out loud. Where do you want yours to be? Okay, up on a chair. I know Dr. Deploy Cilliers always chooses to put her feet in the sand, and I'm like, why would you pick the sand if you could pick the ocean? And Dr. Blumenthal, where would you like your feet to be? Okay, in a galaxy far. The point I'm really trying to make, guys, is it doesn't matter where your feet land. We all look up at the same night sky. So you can be standing in a beautiful place and you could be having a moment of greatness in your life. You could be on a dusty street in one of your most difficult times somewhere or doing something really difficult. We all look up at the same night sky. So when you feel lonely, when you feel alone, or when you see the darkness, remember that your star is shining whenever it's dark. And when it is light, you are the light in the dark night sky. So please remember that it doesn't matter where your feet land, this home is always here for you and you are never ever alone. Congratulations on your remarkable and wonderful achievement and welcome to be Da Vinci Institute alumnus. Congratulations. we have now come to the end of the ceremony, and before we rise for the national anthem of the Republic of South Africa, because although many of you may not be from South Africa or your families are not, this is where our qualification is registered and accredited, and our students travel all over the world and make a remarkable impact in Africa and beyond with their qualifications. And so what we say now is that we will rise, sing the national anthem, and then what we invite you to do is to go outside, and we have some refreshments and snacks for you and your family. You will receive your certificates in the front here with a little gift from us. And we say to you that, I will say to you, I'm not asking their permission, my beautiful academic procession and Dr. Malapa will gladly take photos outside. One of my team members is there, and what we do is we let you take individual photos if you want photos with your boss for the newsletters or whatever you want, you're welcome to take those photos. And then what we do is we email them to your program convener, and then you can download them, and we also do put them on Facebook, etc., but for you specifically to take your individual photos. So please rise for the singing of the national anthem of the Republic of South Africa.
Show